Hello, Unks. Welcome back to another video. I was inspired to make this video because I saw someone reviewing another person's video and I couldn't help but ask myself, why did they say that? Now, you might be wondering what they could have possibly said, but I am not here to talk about that video. Instead, I am here to inform you guys on how not to review people's content or respond to almost anything or critique something or whatever. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, A or AKA number one. If I were to say these exact words, I believe that liking mayonnaise is the same thing as being racist. I know, starting out strong. How would you respond to this? Here, to make it easy, I'll give you three options to choose from. Okay, here's A. Dude, what are you talking about? Did you know data centers are taking over the planet? Okay, that's option A. Option B. Holy crap. Look at this idiot. I mean, you were clearly the dumbest person I've ever met. Okay, that's option B. Now for option C. Racism equals mayonnaise. Oh, yeah. Oh, that God. That's so funny, dude. Whatever you say. Okay. Which option would be considered a correct response? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Okay, 3, 2, 1. And drum roll, please. None of them. What? You might be saying, how is it none of them? And let me tell you, Sonny boy, because all of those are bad responses. Let me go into a little more detail about why for each one. But first, we have to explain what our purpose is for each response. For the first response, the purpose is usually to get people to care about whatever topic you care about. That is totally fine, and also is a bad response if your purpose is to review. This is a completely irrelevant comment and would be considered practically useless as a review. For the second response, the purpose is to entertain a little bit. Maybe you want people to realize how absurd this person is. The issue with this is also not a review. This is just clickbaiting. I know clickbaiting sounds crazy, but hear me out. If you wanted to review it, you would respond with actual information. All you do is say the obvious, and be it not in an appropriate way. And you just hope people agree with you. This is one of the easiest forms of content ever because it is a nothing burger. Literally, no one gains anything from this apart from validation that most people wouldn't think that way. Now, for the final and most interesting response letter C. Okay, so the interesting one about this is that it's probably the worst response you could possibly give. If you want people to change their opinion, which is probably what you want to do with a review or critique of something, the worst way to go about it is by insulting someone. This is also why letter B is also a bad choice since you're insulting them. If you insult someone, the chances that they listen to you go down dramatically. Let me explain to you why a little bit later, though. Anyways, this is the worst response because you couldn't even think of an insult, you just instead mocked them. This amount of brain power required in this review is practically zero. Okay, now let me tell you about why insults hurt when trying to change minds. So first, let me tell you a good response or critique of this viewpoint. Can you explain why liking mayonnaise is the same as being racist? Boom! It's that easy. You see how there was no insults shared or anything. You still get your point across, and now you're asking the real question to be asked, which is obviously this. How does this person relate mayonnaise to racism? The person is much more likely to listen to you and also change their mind. Why? Because you didn't insult them. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you say, I like peanuts because they remind me of almonds, and I insult you because I think it's funny. If you are insulted for liking peanuts because they remind you of almonds, do you think you will open up and agree with them? No, obviously not. Why would you agree with them? It's the same thing as practically insulting yourself if you agree with them. You're probably going to ignore them or try to defend yourself. It's obvious to see why insulting is almost never the way to go. Insulting people doesn't get you many places in life, but being kind can. If you were to see this person you insulted in person and realize that you and them are a lot more similar than you thought, you're going to feel horrible that you ever insulted them for liking peanuts since they reminded them of almonds. I hope you understand the point I am getting at in this video. I simply see way too many insults flying around at people, and honestly, it does kind of get to a point. If you want to review or want to critique, insulting is not something you have to do. Obviously, I am not saying to never insult anyone again, but especially when you are reviewing or critiquing someone, do not insult them almost at all. If you are watching someone and they are insulting them, it's not because they want the person to change. It's because they want you to agree with them. Do you care about validation scams or about helping people to change their minds? Now, let me give you another example really quickly. So I'm going to give you two options. One is going to insult somebody, and one is not going to insult somebody. Okay, wait. Before I do that, I have to give the thing they are responding to. Okay, let's say that somebody says this. Gum is useless because it can't do anything for you. All right, for response number one, gum isn't useless for you. If you look at research, you can see that gum can actually help people get less cavities. Obviously, though, it depends on the kind of gum you're using. That was response number one. Here's response number two. What do you mean, bro? I mean, like, seriously, has this person ever heard of different types of gums? I mean, like, come on. This dude clearly needs to do more studying since he thinks like this. Okay, that was response number two. Which of these is the correct response? Honestly, if you don't get this right, you're stupid. 3, 2, 1, and it is response number one. Obviously, it's response number one. I mean, come on now, it's pretty obvious. And anyone who doesn't see that clearly needs to up their reading comprehension. Okay, maybe I just lied to you guys. The question wasn't really whether you could spot the better answer, but could you tell I was doing it to you the whole time? Saying you're stupid if you don't get it right is just an easy insult to throw out there. Also, I think I should clarify something that's a little more complicated. This is called something that is close to an insult, but actually is not an insult and is okay to say. For example, earlier I said that the required brain power to mock someone requires 0 brain power. Now that may seem like an insult. The thing is that it actually isn't. This is called a joke. Insults and jokes are different. If I just threw out a word like mocking is stupid, then yes, it would be an insult. But since the point I am trying to get at is by mocking someone, you are not trying as hard as someone who would actually try to respond, then it's okay. I'll be honest and say that jokes and insults can be very hard to differ from. But here's a little guide to go by. Would this still be funny if I said it to someone I respect in public and to their face? Another way to tell is, would most people consider this joke an insult? And if the answer is yes, then probably don't say that. However, whether a joke is an insult is mainly up to you to decide, because many people have many different interpretations on what can be a joke and what can be an insult. Also, I hope you have a great day. Also, did you notice how this whole video I didn't insult you guys? Well, apart from the one part where I was trying to see if you could spot it. That's interesting though, isn't it? Huh? Okay, for real this time. Please leave a hype. Leave a hype. It feels weird to say. Leave a hype and subscribe. Oh gosh. Please leave a hype and stuff, but I don't really know how this algorithm works. So just like, subscribe, hype, comment, share, whatever. Just do it. Pretty please. I have nothing to give apart from my videos that I spend light years on. Okay, seriously, bye now. Wait, don't forget to come back for another video, please. I'll give you like a Labubu or like a 6-7 or something if you come back again. Okay, bye.